Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. In this video, I will take you through the whole onboarding process, kind of explain you different things, how to set up your email, how we communicate via Slack, how the projects work, where you find any files. That way, if you have any questions at any point while we're working together, you can just come back to this video and really see in detail how everything works. So let's get started. Over here in the screen, you see our team handbook. If you're seeing this, it's most likely that you've already kind of went through everything since we're most of the time sending this over beforehand. But I will briefly take you through everything. In this handbook, we really have everything in detail explained, also very visual. That way, it might be easy to understand. So, our values, our mission, our purpose, your main point of contact. So, obviously, if any questions appear, you can always text me, Sarah, or Adam as well. Sarah is most of the time responsible for any project related question, and Adam in regards to the performance side, the ad side. Then we have Zandra as well, who I'll be adding to this presentation. She's more handling the strategy side. So if you have any questions in regard to the strategy, any really that relate to marketing, branding, and so on, you can always reach out to Zandra as well. So yeah, I won't take you through all of those. This is something you can just read yourself in detail. Overall, the Slack project channel, and I will show you that live here as well. You will always have the project name, and then you will have a publish link that links to the project board where we store all the information for the project tasks, deadlines, and so on. So where files are stored, this page is really important just to understand, and it doesn't get too overcomplicated. So overall, we have one Notion file, which is our Notion Team Hub. It is this domain, which is really easy to remember, app.cielo.agency/hub. So this is really where you can go at any point where we have all the information stored that you might need. Then we have the intro video, the weekly Teams tasks and updates, this Teams handbook, and then we have the brand and team files. The brand and team files looks like this. So it's basically our brand kit. So you'll have the logo, a LinkedIn header. If you would like to add it, we have a Google Meets background. Let's say if you're traveling and so on, I think this is always like a good choice. I personally like to use that as well. So when we're hopping on calls with clients, anyone like that, you can simply add it to your Google Meets, and then I believe it will look pretty professional. We have a sales deck where you just see a little bit about our services. And then we have some SOPs, which will be updated soon as well. So yeah, from the Notion, it goes to the Notion project board and tasks, to the Google Drive, and then to the SOPs and to the tutorials. So in this one Notion hub, you will find kind of the direction to anything else that you might need. So this is really the only domain that you need to remember if you're looking for anything. It will also be linked most likely to our team channel in Slack, so you don't forget it at any point. Then we have the project board, which I will also show you live, where we always just have the deliverables, maybe anything that is really important for the project. Then we have the tasks over here, and then the project board, or which we call also buttons, where you can just click and read some more information about that specific topic. Here you see a little bit about the project organization in Canva, Google Drive, how any project, let's say, is organized on the Drive side. So yeah, everything in detail explained. We do have a lot of tutorials and Loom videos as well, so I'll be going with you through that as well. So yeah, as of softwares, those are most of the time the design softwares that we'll be using. Obviously nowadays there's so many different ones as well. So it could be that there are any other softwares that we might be using here and then that are not listed on here. In regards to additional softwares like project management and so on, those are the ones that we'll be using. Something that's also really helpful is our team GPTs. So basically, we have an email writer, CLO agency GPT, social media strategist, and then a sales rep. You can simply click on any of those, and then a link opens up. You will simply need to sign up or sign into your ChatGPT account, and then you can just, this one, obviously, as the name says, is really good for writing emails. So instead of just using the normal version of ChatGPT, what it does here, it is specifically, let's say, designed to write emails in the style that we use across the company. So if you write an email, for example, or replying to a client, please use this one. It's really helpful. Even I use it personally. And then we have our CLO agency GPT, which you can basically ask anything about the company if you have any questions about a service, how the whole, let's say, process on the client side works, literally anything that you have a question about. It's kind of like asking our CLO agency bot first, and then you can ask any of our team members because all of our information are uploaded there, so it already knows literally everything about us. The social media strategist is good for creating strategies for social media, as the name says. And then the sales rep is if you have any questions regarding, that's more for our sales team. If you have any questions regarding, let's say, discovery calls, anything like that, or even if you want to use it for yourself, just learn about the sales side, it's also good to use this as well. Great. So those team guidelines or our team handbook will be slightly updated as well. So let me hop over to the Slack itself. So once you join our team, you will receive an email that looks something like that. You'll receive that either to your personal email or to the CLO email that we set you up. And then you simply hit join Slack. In this case, I don't think it's going to work since we already did it. And then you'll be able to access a Slack that looks something like that. You can send me a text. So I see that you successfully joined the Slack. And then if you go to CLO updates, you'll find a message from me that is quite important, and this one will be updated at any point as well. It's kind of just guidelines on how we communicate. Here you see as well who handles what. Sarah oversees all the project. Xander handles client meetings as well as the strategy side, and then Adam works on the overall strategy as well as the ad and performance side. So yeah, please take a moment and read through those guidelines just to make sure that you understood everything of it. It should be pretty direct, pretty clear, but this will give you some insights on how everything works as well. So overall, when you join the Slack, there's nothing really you need to do other than maybe send me a text and so on. What you can do is you will go to your profile and you will just add a profile picture, your title. You can do that here. And then you can either use your first and last name, just your first name, or even a nickname. That's totally up to you. We are not picky with that at all. And then we'll be adding you to different channels. So CL updates, team in general is something you'll be always added in. And then if you get invited to a project, it will look something like project / the client name. As described before, in each project channel, you will see all the team members, and then you will see a link that's literally right pinned up here. In this case, it's app.cl.agency/AR. And once you click on it, you will go to the team or project board. it's pretty similar to the process or the layout that I previously showed. Here it's just a little bit of a larger project, so obviously we just have a few more files here and there, but overall it's the same layout, and we try to stick to the same layout to anything a project that we take on, just so it doesn't get confusing and you know where to find what. So we have some meeting notes, we have the March social media calendar where we just plan out posts. And then we have some drop downs here. This one is also quite helpful. It's basically like the Cielo agency GPT that I showed you previously, but specifically for this project. So you can click on it and you can just ask questions or basically continue the chat, and it already knows everything about the client, anything about the project. So this is really helpful if, for example, you have questions about the project. Go here first. You can ask literally just questions back and forth to understand the project better, or you can ask it to create a content calendar, rewrite content, basically anything you can think about. So this is really important and really helpful too. In this case, we have some Canva files here, the project tasks. So within the project task, it's really important that you update this field. So once a task gets assigned to you, unless there's a specific start date set, the start date is usually immediately. So as soon as you get an email, you can basically have a look and start working on the tasks. The only thing, like I mentioned, is important that you update the status regularly, so we just see on our ends how things are going. If you have any questions about the project, you can add comments down below. You can tag me or you can tag Sarah and so on. And then you always see a manager as well. So basically, someone you can report to if you have any questions in regards to this project or who you can send updates to. But yeah, updating this field is really important. So please just take care of that. We have different fields like design, in progress, draft, and so on. So this is just for our side so we can see what has priority, what needs to be worked on, what maybe needs a little bit help, and so on. Great. So on the project side, I believe we covered most of it. This field here, it syncs with the project tasks. So you basically see the deadlines of different tasks as well as anything that's coming up. Over here, we have the project tabs or buttons, whatever you would like to call them. Like I said, just tap on them and you will find some more information in regards, in this case, about the info, about the company, and so on. Great. So let's hop over to the next part, the email setup. So we are using kind of like a custom mail server. In this case, it's T10, and you'll be assigned one of those email addresses. So it's basically, for example, kayla@cielo.team. You can log in via one of those links, or you can use the app if you're using an iPhone. So right now I'm already signed in the account because I signed in previously, but it will just ask you to add the email address and then obviously the password. One thing that we ask you to do, and I'll be sending you that over manually, is just adding your email signature. So you go to preferences and then you'll find your email signature there. And it should look something like this. So just make sure that the email signature, you can move it, you can make it larger or smaller. Just make sure that it has a good size. And then this text I will be providing you with, it's just good to add this under there as well. So then if you start a new email, this is how your email signature should look like. So yeah, very easy. This is something you can also just save. You can also literally just Google T10 Mail and you will find it. So yeah, very easy, very simple to use. Overall, like I said, you can also download an app and we'll be just sending you updates on here. You will get notified if there's a task that I got assigned to you, or if you got added to, let's say, a client conversation. Great. So now we covered that. So let's hop on to the next part. This is more important for the management team. So if we created you a Gmail account, one thing that we asked you to do is go to the Chrome web store. Let me close up these tabs. Go to the Chrome web store and type in Mixmax. In this case, I already installed it. You really just hit install to Chrome, and then it will ask you 3 questions, but overall very easy to install. And then once everything is successfully done, you will see it appear here in your Gmail. And then every single time when you write in your email, it will track the email opens. So this is really important if you send an email to a client, just so we can see if the client received it, if they opened it, how many times they opened it, and so on. So if everything is successfully, you will just see like a little button over here. And then for send emails, let's say if we click on that, there will be a bold sign here. And in this case, for the test email, you can see that it was opened. Sometimes it even shows you the location. So this is really helpful as well. So yeah. For the T10 account, before I forget it, if you want to connect it to, for example, your Gmail app on the phone, anything like that, you will need to type in those information. It does look quite complicated, but there are a bunch of videos out there, and overall it's very easy to set up. So you can, specifically for this one, you can connect it to any other email app. For example, there are Canary, Spark Mail, maybe even Outlook, like there's anything you can connect this to, just using those information. Great. So once everything is set up, we will send you an invite for the Notion as well. So that will look something like that. You will just simply hit accept invite. If you already have a Notion account and are signed in, it will just appear in your Notion account. Otherwise, feel free to just create a new one, and then it will look something like that. So you'll be shared the onboarding and Team Hub, and then the SOPs, and that will just appear under shared. So the onboarding and Team Hub we already went through. The SOPs are most of the time more on the tutorial side. So really just for the designers, for all of our interns, anyone like that, but also maybe just a few tips and hacks here and there. So we just updated them. So there'll be more that will be appearing here. But overall, you will see, for example, the content management, editing videos, schedule content, let's say how to publish a design or proposal. Yeah, you'll overall, like I said, we'll be updating all of it. So you'll be finding quite a few different and cool tutorials over here. And you can just click on it, and then most of the time it will either be a video without sound, or it will be a Loom video where you can watch it here, or you can redirect. So yeah, I believe we covered most of the things that I wanted to take you through. Like I said, Notion is a place where you'll find everything in the onboarding hub. We'll be adding some more information down below. So every single week, obviously, we will assign you tasks and you will get notified and so on. But one thing that we do every single week is have one document. It's called Weekly Teams Tasks. This will be updated most of the time, as you can read, each Sunday. Most of the time around 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And it basically just highlights our priorities, weekly updates. You can see who each person reports to, and it's just kind of like an overview about the tasks, what will be worked on, And then if you want to see more details, just go to the task that was specifically assigned to you in Notion to read more details. But like I said, this one is more like an update so everyone know what's happening, some open tasks. You will see meeting notes that will be updated by Sandra and so on. So yeah, this is really helpful too. You will also find it in the Notion or anything like that. So overall, let's say if we work, even me personally, I use it. I always sign into Chrome just because it's right connected with your Gmail account. And then one thing that's really helpful that you can do is just pin all the links. For example, in this case, the SOPs. We can pin the weekly Teams tasks. So you just hit the star and then we type in weekly Teams tasks and then the bookmarks bar. And then we hit done. And then it will appear here. So basically just shortcuts, but this is really, really helpful over the time because obviously you will have different files, like for example, this project board. And so on. So like I said, overall, really, really helpful. You can pin the Slack. And that way you don't lose any of those files. One thing that I just remembered that I was about to forget. So obviously this one is kind of the project board for everyone to review. If you specifically want to, let's say, edit the tasks that get assigned to you and so on, you will need to use a different link that will be just shared with you and will appear over here. Sometimes there will be a pencil tool over here where you can just click it and then you can edit it with your account right away. Otherwise, it will be shared with you to, let's say, update the progress on each tasks and so on. So this is kind of just like a preview link where everyone can see it. We don't need to sign in. So this is just one important thing to remember. Perfect. So I believe I covered everything in this video. Overall, if you have any questions, obviously you can always send me a text. Sarah is available too, Kim too. So feel free to take a look, take your time, read through the documents, and send me a text if you have any questions, if there's anything you need help with. Most of the time, we'll be also setting up just like a 15-minute call to take you through all of those things after you watch everything, just to make sure that there are like not any questions and you're good to go and we can do great work together. So yeah, very excited to working with you and let me know if you have any questions. Bye bye.